I help my clients with their marketing and sales conversation. I've been doing this for over 20 years now. I know that's hard to believe because I look so young, but for over 20 years. So Sue, I appreciate you being here with this one, because your insight is going to be super valuable as we go through this. So jump in as we go, because I think that's the when you and I do these together, I think that's the funnest way to do it. And I intentionally didn't send you the slides because I want you to talk about them as we go.
Oh okay, all right. Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, let's kick it off. Networking with a purpose. So like I said, I'm Jason Integrity. We have the great Sue Brook here, and we're going to have this conversation. We're going to run through slides, and then after we're going to have some time for questions so we can keep the conversation going. To me, that's my favorite part, is when we get into the Q&A. Because if one person asks the question, there's probably 10 people who had the same question, and then we get to attack it in a real way. And more importantly, we're going to give you a real answer. No theoretical stuff. Everything that we talk about is actionable and you can use right now. So when we talk about networking with a purpose, we're talking about building relationships. So the benefit of developing relationships with who are the people you're going to look for, right? So we're looking for potential customers, strategic partners, referral partners. And the goal is to not be a goofball along the way, right? But we also want to keep our eye out for goofballs too. So every networking event that you go to, whether it's in person or virtual, you will have potential customers in the room. You're going to have strategic partners there and referral partners also. The goal is to not get a customer that day. You're not going to sell anybody in this first introductory meeting in passing at a networking thing. The goal is to see how this energy feels in being around them, to see if they have a problem that you can solve, and if they're a good fit for you as a client. Majority of us go into these networking events and we're just here, and whatever happens, happens. But we're overlooking a lot of opportunity to connect with people that can move the needle for us. And a lot of us tend to get overly pitchy in the beginning, and now you're delivering this elevator pitch to everybody you meet, and most of them don't care about it at all. So I want you to go into it with the proper mindset of connecting with people, having real conversations. What you'll hear on Alignable a lot is that, you know, Sue, I'm not even recording. All right, well, we record the next one. People do business who they like, know, and trust. So in the networking phase of it, we're just working on the like part of it. So don't worry about building a relationship today. Nobody met at a coffee shop and got married the next afternoon. It's just not how it works. So we're building relationships. And if you keep that in mind, now there are 3 types of relationships that we're going to work on. We're looking for potential customers, strategic partners, and referral partners. So everybody you meet, well, not everybody, majority of the people that you meet will fall into one of those 3 categories. And everybody else is a goofball, and we'll get into that later. So when we're talking about potential customers, do you know who your target market is? Do you understand their needs? And are you prepared to engage with them and add value? So you're at a networking event. If your customer is standing in front of you, do you recognize it? Do you say, oh, you got a problem that I can solve? Here's some things that you need. And people are very good at talking about what they need. So here's the problem that I'm having. Here's where I'm stressed out at. And if you're an expert at solving that problem, you should hear it. So this is not your opportunity to attack them and start pitching them. Hey, I can help you with that. And for the right price, I can do these things, and that goes away. Just engage and add value. I understand your problem. I work with people who have that problem. And here's what I've seen so far. how does this problem affect you personally? Is it affecting you in other areas of your business or your life? And you just ask questions. Now, when you ask questions about how they feel about this problem, you're not everybody else, because everybody else in the room is pitching. But here you are asking very, very sincere questions about a problem that affects me personally, and you just happen to have the answers to the problem. Now you have effectively positioned yourself in a different light to where, okay, I want to talk more to you, or at least I'm open to having the next step of the conversation. What do you think about that, Sue?
No, I love that. And, it's funny because I've been doing this talk in my in-person event, and it's like when you were talking about meeting people, like, and building the relationship, there's like a relationship funnel. And when you were talking about, like, first of all, you meet people and that's your contact, right?
Mhm.
So you're making contact with all these people at the networking event. But then you'll meet with them and maybe just meet them. Hi, I'm Sue, blah, blah, blah. And you'll feel an energy, you'll feel a connection with some people, and some people you won't. It's like the goofballs, you will not feel a connection with. So it's okay, they can fall out of that funnel. But there's certain people that you'll meet and you'll feel that connection, right? Like the first time I met Jason, I felt that connection. It's like, great, let's move this down to the relationship. And then you can get into that kind of stuff. That's kind of the way I've been looking at it.
Yeah, yeah. It's so important, especially at this day and age where there's so much disconnect, right? We all have a barrier built around us to protect us from all the nonsense of the world. So who do we let into our force field, right? And so now we have to go outside of ourselves to meet people, and for a lot of people that's uncomfortable. So now I'm somewhere where I probably don't want to meet to try to build my business. So who should I look for? And who should I start these conversations with? And when you do find somebody and that energy feels right, hey, let's talk all the time, because I need people like you around me. The more people that you can collect that way, now you're building your network, you find your tribe, and everything starts growing. There are quite a few people who view the world the way that you view it, with the same kind of energy. So let's find them and have conversations with them. They're going to fall into one of those three categories. Good stuff. So when we get into strategic partners, so for strategic partners, some kind of way our businesses overlap. There's something that I do that can support your clients and make your job easier. It's something that you do that I can pass you customers, because what I do goes to this part, and then you pick up from there, and vice versa. For example, if you are a chiropractor and you meet a massage therapist, that's a perfect marriage of, we can share clients and we can actually help our clients better together, right? So you should have a mental list of these people when you go to the networking events. So where if you're a chiropractor and run into a massage therapist, and it's like, hey, we need to talk, especially once that energy feels right. Right. So let's talk to them about what their goals are. What are they trying to accomplish? Where are they in their business? Let's talk about their core values. Do our core values align? So I'm Jason Integrity. My company's Integrity Go. So integrity is pretty important to me. At some point in this conversation, I'm going to say something about integrity. And if they say, sometimes you got a lot to kick it, and it's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. I can't work with you. Right. So you have to look for people that their core values match your core values. And then now you can start to build trust, because I know that you're going to show up in the same ways that I show up. So I don't have a problem working with you or sharing business, because I know you're going to take care of your responsibilities the same way that I do. And we can grow. So as you ask and understand about their goals and values, you'll get more insight. So now that we understand that, let's look for a mutually beneficial way for this relationship to progress. It has to be a win-win. Every relationship has to be a win-win. So you get the people all the time, they pop up on LinkedIn and Alignable, and they jump in your messages, and they'll say, hey, if you see anybody that needs this, can you send them to me? well, I don't even know you to send them to you. And how does that benefit any other part of the business that I'm doing or that me and the rest of my network are doing? So if we have a conversation about how this works for both of us, now the other party is more likely to engage in this conversation. It makes sense because I get to win too, instead of just feeding you leads or feeding you potential customers. And then now we can talk about ways to collaborate now that it's clear. So let me pull you into this podcast that I got. Hey, I'm going to this networking event. We can go together. Let's find ways to where we're growing and building a relationship to where everybody feels like they're winning. And now we got to nurture it. So we meet them in the beginning and it seems like a good fit. Now let's set up some regular communication. Let me make sure that I send you a text message or email or something at least once a week. And let's follow up on the collaboration ideas that we were talking about. Let's start putting stuff into action. And then providing support is super important because doing business, most of us are solopreneurs. So you don't necessarily have a support system. So I've ran into somebody at a networking event and the energy is right. And as I talk about my journey in entrepreneurship, they're going through the same thing. And it's cool to just talk shop with somebody who gets it. So all of these things are just a benefit. And most of the people that are in your industry, some kind of way, if you've identified this before you start, you're going to run into them quite a bit as you network.
Yes, and I'll just jump in. Yes, and once you start doing that, then you can start asking those people if they know more of those other people, right? It's like if you're looking for chiropractors, for example, then start asking people, do you know chiropractors? And I just want to go backwards a little bit from what you were saying about people, pitching right away. It goes for virtual as well. I'm looking through the chat right now, and I'm seeing a lot of people that's just spamming the chat with all your stuff and why we should do this. And I'm sorry, but I'm just going to call you guys out. That's not what this is for. And when you are in an event like this, and if I close my chat, I never do that because when you're throwing out your advertisements, nobody's reading it. Nobody cares, right, Jason? I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that?
You're 1,000% correct. I'm glad you caught it. That my people is goofball behavior. We're gonna talk about goofball behavior early. So, a little bit later in the conversation. So if you are putting out your information all the time, then that means you're not open to receiving anything. It's all about you 100% of the time. So if it's all about you 100% of the time, why would I go into any kind of relationship with you? Because this is going to be a one-sided relationship. You're only telling me what you want. You're not telling me what you're going to give me. Therefore, there is no value in this for me. So that's why nobody reads the chat.
Amen.
All right. I got my first amen. All right. Now, referral partners. So as we look for referral partners too, if they don't fall into either of the first two categories, now let's look to see who their target audience is, right? Because they may be serving our same target just in a different way, to not necessarily in a way we're in the same industry and overlap, but they could be seeing everybody that we want, they can already be talking to. So let's have a conversation about them, right? When we talk about competitive industries, so you have it's so important, number one, to understand that you don't have any competition, but most people don't view the world that way. If you do the same thing, they'll say, oh, you're the competition. So the reason that this part is on there though is because most people don't get it. So you may go into it with good intentions, but they are competing against you in mind. So even if it feels like they're kind of cool, they're still looking at you in competition. So anything that they send you, it's not going to be anything that you want. It's something that they couldn't use or whatever. So I want you to be conscious of that. And if you can find some people who understand that we live in a world of abundance, there are more people who need our help than there are people to serve. So we're not in competition at all. And if you came to the Selling Without Selling, you understand that 60% of the market is not going to do business with you anyway. So 9 times out of 10, the 60% who won't do business with you will do business with them. And this is why you don't have any competition.
Can I jump in there?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I have to, because I love that you're talking about this. Like I'm dying here, because I have always said there's no such thing as competition. And I used to own a school, a tutoring, after school program, summer camps, all this after school type things. And one of my best referral partners was my direct competitor, if you called it that. He did the exact same thing I did, except I did something a little bit different than he did it. And when there were certain people that wanted the thing that he did, then I would refer him, and it worked great. There's plenty of business out there for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like the fact that you say, like who would have thought that this would be the person that be the best referral partner? Like you wouldn't have predicted that at all, right?
Never.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So now we've identified them. Now we can start building relationships. We've had that initial introduction. So show up at more events, right? The more active you are, the better. So if you are somebody who is constantly going to networking events, and I connect with you, then through extension, I'm at all of these networking events too, because you are open to giving me referrals. So now that is added value to the relationship. And you're going to know about events that are going on that they won't, and then you get to pull them in it. So you want to find somebody that is serious about doing business and active in building their brand. And if you're connected with them as they build their brand, you're associated with them, they're actually helping you build your brand too. Establish trust and demonstrate your expertise. So I need people to be smarter than me in things that I don't care about, right? So I don't want, nobody knows everything. So for me personally, I'm good at the marketing and sales portion of it. Other parts of business, I have no idea. You seen some of this AI stuff that's going on? It's crazy. So it's cool as I network and I run into somebody and that's their wheelhouse, because now you're my go-to person. You're my resource. So anything that I need, any question, I'm coming to you first. And because you're an expert, and because you've earned my trust, anything tangential in relationships that we can go. I know somebody who needs you, come into this. I know somebody that's working on this thing, but AI could be a part of it. So let me pull you into it. And then let's see how this conversation goes. But just from you being the expert, now you are a resource.
I love it. And I always tell people, be a really great connector. If you're the kind of person that's always, every time someone comes to talk to you, you're constantly thinking about who you can connect them with. It's like, then people want to be around you all the time. I became a connector years ago when I had my school, and it's just in my DNA now. I can't help it. But when you're that, people want to come up and talk to you all the time, because they know you're thinking of them, and you're going to think who you're going to connect them with.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You know, and lastly, explore mutually beneficial referral arrangements. So for every referral I get, I give you 10% of my fee. I would have had spent that on marketing somewhere or some kind of advertising, you know, it's a customer acquisition cost. So I would have spent that anyway. And now that I don't have to spend it, you get to have it. This is win-win. So now you get bonus bucks, right? So whatever it is that you work out with your referral partners, make sure that everybody wins. Everybody feels good for doing it. And then now there's a benefit for helping you build your business. And then I get referrals too. And then some kind of way, like all of this bonus money adds up like pretty fast too. So connect with people that way to where everybody wins. You got to be thinking win-win the entire time. And finally, nurture the partnership, right? You'll hear me say this all the time. Communication is key. You need to talk to people. How many of us have met great people, and somewhere along the lines, you just lose touch with them? Like, how did you allow that to happen? You know, you have to actively build relationships. None of these relationships will happen on their own. It's going to be times where you need to reach out and pick up the phone or send a message. And when you do, they'll say, man, I was just thinking about you. and here's an event that I got coming up, and let's connect with this. And I couldn't find your number. It's always something weird like that happens. So stay top of mind with people, and these opportunities will come up more and more.
100%. 100%. That's like, I just don't understand when people go, let's say, to a networking event, and you're meeting all these people, and then you leave and you never ever talk to them again. It's just
Right.
unalignable. You connect with people, you don't send a personalized message to say, hey, I would like to learn more and ask about them. I just don't understand. It's like such a waste of energy and and time and everything. It's like, follow up. People, you know, one of the things, this just came to my head. I remember when I had a customer, they came in and they took a tour of my learning center, and I got a phone call. My director said, hey, Sue, a lady's on the phone and she's really upset. And I said, hi, this is Sue, I'm the owner. And she said, I'm really upset. I came and took a tour of your business. And she said, you never followed up with me. And I was like, oh my gosh, people want you to follow up with them, whether it's a customer or someone you meet at a networking event. That's
right.
A big one.
That's right. Everybody's busy. Everybody's into their own thing. And it's a lot of stuff that we want to do, and it kind of just falls out of your radar. So when you do follow up and reach out and practice regularly communicating, that keeps you top of mind. And now this great idea I had in the back of my mind can come out, as opposed to me just forgetting about it completely. So and lastly, the show appreciation. Let's celebrate these wins. So you send me a referral, I get the business. That is to be celebrated. Thank you for sending me the business. So you send. We need Sherry here for this one, for the send out cards, right? So you send them the cards and appreciation, a nice gift. You take them out for dinner. You cut them into the revenue. Whatever you do to show the appreciation. This keeps people wanting to be a part of your journey, because it feels good. And when you win, I win too. And it works all the way around. So a lot of you are wondering, like, am I the goofball? And it is very, very difficult to kind of figure out if you haven't been through this process before. So now let's talk about goofball behavior. So if you are insta pitching, this is goofball behavior. Goofballs, in my opinion, they're not here to network. They're not here to grow. They don't want relationships. They just want to sell something. They are motivated solely for them. And being a part of your network does not interest them. Helping you with your business does not interest them. Actually, helping the customers doesn't interest them either. They just want money. They just want to win for themselves. And they only care about their win. They don't care about your win. So we get rid of goofballs every chance we get. I kick them out of events all the time. I kick them out of my network all the time. Because how did you get here? And because we don't do things like that. I don't want you treating any of my people in a way that's less than admirable, right? We don't. The unscrupulous behavior is ridiculous. So if you're connected with me and you're not trustworthy, that makes me not trustworthy. So you got to get them out of your network. So when you connect with somebody, this happens on Alignable and LinkedIn a lot. Someone sends you a connection request, and as soon as you approve it, you get a 5-paragraph pitch. And they're telling you everything about the history of this particular product, but they never asked you, did you need the product, or did you even want to talk about it? Right? They haven't even asked you your name or where you're from. No conversation has been had. They're already trying to sell. That means that's all you care about. And if that's all you care about, we can't build a relationship. That makes them a goofball, right? Faking interest. People will ask you questions, and as you talk, they're just nodding, but you can tell that they're not listening. So they're just waiting for their turn to talk. So they're like, oh man, that's interesting, and this and this. And they didn't ask you any questions as you talk. It's just you talking, and they're waiting for their turn to talk. So this is how you recognize it. Go ahead, Sue.
No, it makes me remember this one woman. Every time I teach this thing, it's like every time I met with her, and I don't know why I kept meeting with her. Finally, I'm like, that's it. But it was the same thing, you knew. And as soon as you'd start talking, she'd look past you and look at her phone, and oh my God, terrible. Oh, it just gives me, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's terrible behavior. Terrible behavior. Spamming, it's goofball behavior. Now let's be clear on what spam is. A lot of people don't understand what spam is. If you're sending out information and no one asks for it, it's spam. If you're trying to educate the consumer and nobody asks for it, it's spam. If you're putting out any advertisement about yourself and you're just posting about you and you're not talking to anyone in particular, it's spam. So all the unsolicited messages ruins your brand. And now you are one of the people that's like, here they come with some nonsense. I know they're gonna try to sell me something. So now you put everybody on guard, even when you pop up in a message. So if you're not having real conversations and all you're doing is spamming, then you're a goofball. And nobody wants to be associated with the goofballs. You're ruining your business. You're ruining your brand. You know, additionally, it's hijacking posts. Somebody has a nice post about something and people are engaging. And in the middle of that, here's you and your business and your contact information. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Engage in the post so that you can talk to people. All of the posts and the different chats and the messaging and all of these groups, that's a part of networking. You're just having a conversation in these groups, but you're still looking for your potential customers, strategic partners, and referral partners, even when you're not at a networking event. So just as you participate on LinkedIn and Alignable, you're still networking. That's the beauty of the platforms, right? So there are a lot of conversations running 24/7. If you jump in there and participate and actually answer the question, now it's not just the person who asked the question, it's everybody else in the room who sees it. So this is they're going to now go to your page and investigate and see what other great information you have. Because if you can just answer a question, that means you actually know what you're talking about. If you're not pitching me and you can just answer the question, I mean, you're confident enough to give me some information without trying to sell it. You know, and lastly is the recommendation begging. You know, I've gotten quite a few messages from people like, can you give me a recommendation? It's like, I don't even know you. What am I recommending? That you can send a good text message? Right? So don't be any of these and then you're not a goofball, right? Make sure that you're going into everything with good energy and you're not a goofball. If you're doing all of these things, stop. Don't continue to be a goofball. It's okay. So as you go through this, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to connecting. Be yourself. People need to like you, not some weird image that you created, but you as a person. The more that you show up as you, that makes you different from everybody else. And because you're different from everybody else, there is no need for differentiation. You don't have to stand out because you're already different. You know, be a professional, have integrity. Integrity is the key, is my number one core value. If you can do it, say you can do it. If you cannot, say you cannot. I'll help you find somebody. If you don't know, say you don't know. I don't know. But let's look up the answer together and now we both know, right? So lastly, be a professional. Show up, be on time, ask good questions. Don't make it about you. Solve the problem. And most importantly, don't be a goofball. that's the,
You know, it's interesting when you, I love that, by the way, with the first time you ever said that. And by the way, I have a t-shirt. It's in my closet. I was going to wear it. I totally forgot. Anyway, you know, being different and standing out and is all about making it always about the other person. It's so interesting. You know, I remember when I was doing my thing and helping people with their businesses, a lot of people would go, Sue, you're so great, but what do you do? Like nobody would really know because I was never doing that. And that's when people started going, whatever you have, I'll write you a check for it. I think you're awesome. You know, it's like, they're like, let me pay you for whatever it is that you're doing for me, for, you know, that you could do. And so, yeah, it's so true. When you're a good person and you are just nice and you care about other people and you're always there to help connect them with other people and you're always thinking about them, that's the key, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. You know, energy matters. How you show up matters. And if you show up and you're positive and you feels good to be around, people just want to be around you. So like they say, like shut up and take my money. Whatever you're selling, I want too. Right?
Exactly.
It's awesome. Anybody have any questions? Hit the reaction button and raise your hand so we can call on you in order.
Make sure you hold your hand up and stay the whole time so you're at the top of the screen, because we have 3 screens of people here.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Jill.
Hi,
Hey.
I have a couple of questions. One, I wanted to know, how do I add value and support to a business that I would like to do, have partnership with? And I am just starting. I'm actually working on launching a business. So
Okay.
how do I how do I add value when I actually don't have anything to offer?
Don't say that. You got a lot to offer. You are
Partner.
already dope. Everything that you need, you already have, right? To run the business, to be great, to be a millionaire, you already got it. The only thing that we have to do is put it in order so that everybody else knows how dope you are. So don't say I don't have value. You got a lot of value.
Okay, thank you. I received that.
All right, outstanding. Tell me what kind of company you starting.
I am starting an online fashion business. My target market is career women who experience menopause. I'm creating a day to evening bridge brand line, clothing line.
Okay.
And I need a specific type of fabric for my lining of my garments to help women stay cool and dry when they are at the business meetings and networking and doing things like that. So there's a certain company that I believe has the exact fabric that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know how I could, because I would like to partner with them, but I need their fabric, but I don't know what I could do to.
Okay. So for this company that has the fabric, you're just gonna have to buy the fabric. So when they say because right now your numbers aren't there to justify them being your partner, right? Because they already got the fabric. So everything has to be a win-win. So if they partner with you, then what do they get, right? But however, as you build that relationship with them and you order more and more fabric, they're like, hey, what you doing with all this fabric? Right? So now is valuable. So now when we talk about strategic partners, it's not the people that's in your supply chain. It's people who can benefit from what you do. So now, who deals with your target audience a lot? With women who are transitioning through menopause, right? So let's just talk about the doctors that they deal with, right? The OBGYNs and that world of it. What can you do with them to make their life easier as a designer? So as you figure that out and you start the conversations with them, because they got all of your clients, right? they see every one of your customers. So as you talk to them, you're going to get more insight about the needs of your potential customers. So as you talk to them, ask them, what do they need? How can I help you? And as you develop that relationship, now you're a strategic partner because you're giving them insight in a way for things that they didn't know, and you're supporting them in a way that they didn't have an idea about before they talk to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you,
Jason?
Jason. Yeah. I also wanted to ask, you mentioned about not requesting a recommendation on Alignable. I noticed that we get these automatic recommendation emails. And so should we ignore them or should we just go ahead and do it? Suits?
Yeah, so those are automated that come because Alignable has, like, especially if you invited a bunch of people, they're going to assume that you already know them. So you can ignore it if you don't, just say if it's someone that you authentically know, like, trust, and can authentically recommend. Otherwise, just ignore it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you both.
Awesome. My pleasure. Suzanne.
Hi. Okay, my question, and this happened to me the other day, and it was interesting. Immediately in the moment, we got a connection, okay? And this person, instead of building a relationship, immediately went into wanting to know what I did. And it was like, and I'm going, okay, they must be new. They've never heard of Sue Brooks. And they were authentic as all could get out. They got what I do in the moment, and I was just blown away. And that's my comment about, you can't put everything in a box, okay?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You got to let it flow. Let the conversation flow how it goes. Awesome. Adrian.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. I just have two questions. My first question is, when it comes to showing the appreciation for a referral, does it matter what happens with the referral, like whether or not they actually become a client, or just because you received the referral, there should be some kind of appreciation?
Oh, no. Nothing moves if we don't get the business. Hey, good try. We missed. Try it again. But if we win, then we celebrate. If you reward them for giving you referrals that and they don't convert, then we're celebrating the wrong things. And then they're gonna keep sending you more of what you don't want. So yeah, no, if I don't win, then you don't win either. The goal is for both of us to win.
Okay. And then the second question will be, would you consider sporadic messages that will help save business owners money still spam? So like if we do it every now and then, maybe on Facebook, LinkedIn, Alignable, things of that nature, just because it's on there and it's unsolicited, it's still spam, correct?
Correct. So the goal is to build your brand so that people come to you.
Yeah.
So in what you're talking about, what problem is it solving? So instead of posting the advertisement, right, speak to the problem that they're having, and then people will respond. So when you do this randomly, what kind of responses are you getting right now?
I'm getting a whole bunch of likes, and that's it.
Yeah, see? So we need people to engage in it and then go to the next step of the customer journey where they reach out to you. So speak to the problems and give them solutions, and then they'll come to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Teresa.
Hi, I really like your approach very much, and it aligns with me. I'm by training a clinical psychologist, and when I try to start a business after teaching for 31 years in higher education, I'm just anything about self-promotion feels like selling, and it's just not who I am. The downside is that I tend to give away everything for free, so I'm broke. So that's my pickle. I'm the opposite, is that people expect that I'm going to be helping because I'm a natural helper. And just trying to get out of that space and to figure out a way to do something different. And I would love to work with you as a marketer, because I really, really like your approach. It fits.
All right. So let's set up a time to talk after this, and I can help you out with all of that.
And I might be able to help you out. I have a lot of skills. So
all right.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Sue.
I just wanted to say to what you were just saying, or what she was just saying. So it made me remember when I was starting my new business, which was helping entrepreneurs. And one of the things I love to do is websites. And I was like, well, I want to help all the people that can't afford the expensive ones, so I'll just do them for $500. And I'd spend days and weeks and months trying to do a website for $500. And I remember when I finally, when I figured it out, that you determine that ideal, perfect, most profitable customer. And it turned out it was a woman who was over 50. She had worked in corporate. She was single. She had a lot of money, and she wanted to start her own business and get out of corporate. And I remember the lady that came to me and said, she was that exact avatar, and she was starting a new business. She goes, so I want you to do my website. What do I write the check for? And I said, $2,500. And she went, oh, that's it. And it was like, after that, I just got tons of them, and I kept raising my prices. And it's like, you just got to own what you're doing and own that you are valuable to them. But determining that perfect ideal customer that wants and needs what you're selling instead of everybody, that's the key to everything. Anyway, yeah.
That's it. Let me say two things to that. One, so when you're on an airplane And they say if we lose cabin pressure and you got a small kid, what do they tell you to do? Anybody? What do they tell you to do?
Help
Put
your
yours
children.
on first.
Put your mask on.
Put your mask on first.
Put your own mask on first. You can't save nobody if you can't save yourself. You can't help anybody if you broke. I don't care how good your heart is. If you don't have no money and you got bills and all the stress that come along with that, you are useless to anybody because you're struggling and you're stressed out along the way. Just think of how good the energy feels when all of the stress is gone. How helpful you are when you feel good every day. Put your own mask on first, and then we can save the world. So the second one, I don't know if you can see it. I might have to make my screen bigger. Let me see. Or you should be able to see. I'm spotlight. Can y'all see the Joker behind me? Y'all see it? In the Dark Knight, the Joker said, if you're good at something, you never do it for free. All right? I've had the Joker on my wall ever since. Free has no value. It has zero value. If you're doing it for free, then it must not be that good. That's just how Americans think. The most expensive stuff is better quality. That's just how Americans think. I got a branding workshop that I do, and I have a Ford Taurus next to a Mercedes Benz, right? Ford Taurus is $25,000, Mercedes Benz is $42,000. Which car is better? Everybody says the Benz. They're the exact same car. I'm from Detroit. They're the exact same car, same engine, same tire, same transmission, same everything. But people give more value to the Mercedes than the Taurus. You know, you have to establish your value. When people understand your value, then they understand, then they can justify the price. So that's the difference between somebody looking at the Mercedes. If they said the Mercedes was on sale for $25,000, they'll go, that's a good deal. And if somebody said the Ford Taurus the price was $45,000, they go, oh, that's too much for that. And they're the same car. So you have to understand your value and don't accept less. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Carrie.
Hey, Jason. So we have, it seems on this call right now, we've got people who are brand new alignable rookies, brand new business owner rookies, and people who are more seasoned. So can you give us all an example or two of how to engage on Alignable with posts, with answering questions that shows your expertise, but doesn't beat people over the head with their sales pitch?
It's a good question. Good question. We just happen to have a workshop called How to Build Engagement on Alignable. It's on Sue's page. If you go there, it's a whole workshop. We break it down all the way through. But quickly, I can say, be yourself. Show up as yourself. Answer the question. If you are talking about you, then you're not helping anybody, right? So if you're saying, hey, I'm great and I can do these things and that's all the stuff that I can take care of for you, then you're not talking about the problem and you're not solving it for anybody. And why would anybody believe that you can do it just because you said you can, right? So, but if you actually get out here, it's millions of conversations running at the same time on Alignable. And all of these different groups and forums, find the people who are asking the questions that you're an expert at solving and just answer the question. And then the person will get some value. Everybody else in that group will read it and say, oh, okay, Carrie knows what she's talking about. And now they're clicking through to your page and they want to engage with you even more. So that's where I would start. In fact, that's where I started when I got active on Alignable. I hadn't met Sue Brooke yet. I was just some guy on here. So I was just going into the forums, answering questions, and then I would go to the quick connects and have conversations with people and just try to help. And then I can fix that. Let's set up a time to talk about that. Let's set up a one-on-one and we can dig into it. So when you show up as yourself with good intent, good stuff happens all the time. All right. Diana. Hit the mute button, Diana.
Sorry.
No worries.
I love this. This is my second one. Sue, you're great. Jason, I identify with, I think it was Teresa. I don't even know if you're going to call it a business, The trouble is, so I'm on all these LinkedIn and this one, but I have no money. I have lived experience. I'm unique. I'm authentic. I'm honest. I listen. That's what I do. I made a 10-minute podcast, but I don't know how to get it out of the podcast so I could, like, just on my own.
Mhm.
I just assigned a little thing. So instead of my picture, it's kind of what my brand is like. Like, it's not always black and white. Sometimes you
So-
have to twist and move.
So Diane, I'm going to jump in here just because we have so many questions, but I'm going to direct you to a couple places. First of all, Mastermind with Sue every single Friday. I've done it for 3.5 years, is an amazing, Carrie's in there all the time, and you can come and ask questions like this in the Mastermind group. I think you'll find a lot of people that will really connect with you and can help. And it's like you have a whole advisory board. So those kind of questions, definitely come to those. It's every Friday. Just go to the Mastermind with Sue group and do that. And you know, it just all really goes. I posted in the chat that I have an ideal how to identify your ideal customer. It's an amazing event that I've done. There's a great recording on Alignable University. And you can find the other things that Jason and I have done and what Jason's done, a lot more stuff there. So that's where I'm going to direct you.
And I love that. I appreciate that. But I know who my customer is. My customer is me, that just needs to talk. How do you charge that? Because my customer is in the same position with no money like me. But I will go. I won't take up the time, but I love what you do. And yeah, I align with your values.
Awesome, awesome.
So
That's great.
thank
That's great.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But make sure you go to that mastermind. It's awesome. I'm in there quite a bit. It's always good information. Alan.
Hey, thank you. I've been to some of Sue's things, and Jason, I may have missed the beginning. I'm actually was on 2 Lightable meetings, listening in on the first one, and like y'all's better. So I missed this. What is it? I know I can look you up, but love what you say. It's what we hear at all of our conferences, and I still say everybody on my team should go because it's just reminders of how to be a who person, not a what person, or a people person, not a. And again, it's listening to people first. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. If they're, we go through people in our business, not 2 people, because you have a huge network. Sue's we all have huge networks. You're one person. Not that I wouldn't love to work with every individual, but guess what? You know more people than yourself. But I didn't catch, what is your business, Jason? If that was at the beginning, I apologize for making everybody listen to it again.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'm a sales strategist. My company's Integrity Go.
Okay, thank you. But everything you guys are saying, I mean, this is well worth the hour. Even though a lot of it we already know, it's just good reminders. And you're right, we get on these things all the time, and the chat fills up with, hey, I got websites I can build. What are you doing? I mean, I get on the Smart Connects all the time, and people don't even address the icebreaker. They're just like, hey, what do you do, Alan? And when I refuse to tell them, I say, hey, what was the icebreaker? And even at the end of it, tell me what you do. Hey, if you want to talk later, I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you, because I don't know if it's worth my time to tell you what I do. What are your needs? And so I think this is a great reminder to everybody. Get to know people.
That's
What our salespeople sell, you can get anywhere, but you're not going to buy it from somebody you don't know and trust. So get to know people, develop warm relationships so that you're not cold marketing.
That's it.
Understand.
You know, the funny thing about it, a lot of the stuff, like you've heard before, you've seen it before, but it's not a matter of knowing, it's a matter of doing. You know, to know is not enough. We got to act on it. We got to make it a natural habit to be this way. And then we'll start making progress.
Yeah. What I found also is most people that come on Alignable come from all the other social media platforms. And Alignable, they don't realize that Alignable is not social media at all. It's
Right.
not social media. This is a support place and a place to network and meet other business owners that are just like us, and we can ask questions and we can help each other. So that's the thing. It's all about changing everyone's mindset. That's my goal in life in all of my trainings is the first thing I say all the time, this is not social media. So a lot of companies that people work for are like, well, this is what you do. You go in and you try to, spam everybody with as much as your stuff, and here, post these advertisements everywhere. Well, you can do that on Facebook and LinkedIn if you want to, but it doesn't work here. But people don't
It doesn't work
understand
there
it.
either. It
Yeah, it doesn't work there either. Exactly. It's like,
there.
who was it, Jason? Was it Todd? I think Todd, one of the other ambassadors, he always said he sat down and someone had him do like an activity and wrote down all the places that you are on, like Facebook, LinkedIn, blah, 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 Alignable, all these. And it's like, where did you get the most of your customers have come from? And then go spend their time there. And he's like, I didn't get any customers from Facebook and
That's
LinkedIn.
right. That's right. That's right.
Anyway,
a lot of us are programmed. We're programmed to, we got to get to 1 million likes and 1 million followers, and we think that that'll get us business. And it's like, nah, that's not it. You got to build relationships, and as you build relationships, now you got customers, and now we can start talking lifetime value. Now that you got customers, right? Instead of trying to do all this one-off stuff, that's where you lose. One at a time. Keisha.
Hi.
Hey.
So sorry, my video, I'm on a laptop that's not showing my video, so my apologies. I'm actually kind of going back to a conversation, and I liked what Sue was saying. I like what both of you guys have been saying throughout this whole thing. This is my first time doing the Alignable conferencing. But my question is, I've provided a lot of companies with sponsors, which is not a huge task, but I'm good at it. And I have so many contacts from past jobs, past relationships, but it's time consuming getting people to provide big gifts and lots of money. Since I've done this for people just out of the kindness of my heart, when they come back to me the following year to ask me to help them again, how do I say this is going to cost you?
I remember somebody told me, yeah. It's like the people that say, I want to pick your brain. And so I started one time, I have this friend that she kept always wanted to talk to me and say, I want to pick your brain. And finally, I finally said, I have a pick your brain fee.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got to set some boundaries. Number one, they shouldn't have that kind of access to you where they could just call you and ask for stuff. And two, you got to set that price. So you can't charge a price if you hadn't set the price. So what is the price to pick your brain? What is the price for me to do these activities for you so I can help you? Once you figure out that number, and then you just let them know what it is. And then you'll find out very quickly who really wants to help.
So I just say, I know I didn't charge you for this service in the past, but what?
No, it's a service now. Whatever the past is the past. We're not going backwards, we're going forwards. So if you want me to do the same thing that I've done before, here's the price. Period.
Got it.
So we only have 4 more minutes, Jason, and if there's anybody questions specifically about the networking part, that would be great. If you guys have other questions, definitely come to the mastermind. Hopefully Jason will be there next time.
Yeah. I'll look and see. I'll try to make it. Additionally, I have a group called the Smile Network. Let me tell you all about this before we send you off. Smile Network is the sales, marketing, and innovative learning experience. We talk about all of this stuff all the time. We're going to build a brand. We do it as a community. I'm going to show you how to sell without selling, without pitching and all the weird stuff. So we have that group going. I'll put the link for it in the chat if you want to check it out. And for those of you who have to leave right at 4, thanks for coming. We appreciate your time. I'm going to make sure I answer everybody's questions. So if we need to hang out a little bit after, I'll stay for that. But if you got to take off, thanks for coming. I love you. We see you next.
Okay, I'm going to say goodbye, Jason. I have to go to an in-person event, so I'm going to run. And thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for being.
Thanks for coming, Sue. I appreciate the love and support.
You're awesome.
All right. Cleveland.
Hey. I just wanted to.
Wait, hold on.
Hello.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know who was talking.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, but
if I said my name. I'm sorry.
Yes, Jason. My question was, we were talking earlier about how to ask questions to find out what their problem, how you can solve it. My question, is there a way to ask a question to find out their problems without them going through a long story to finally get to their problem?
Nah, sometimes you got to take that trip.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, especially if you're asking them a very, very smart question. Smart people ask smart questions. So 9 times out of 10, you're asking them a question that they've never been asked before. So they don't have that answer loaded. They have to process and how do I get to this answer? So yeah, you just got to go on that journey with them.
I got you. Thank you.
I
I was hoping.
I know, right? Delete.
I'm sorry. I thought you said my name earlier.
Oh,
I just wanted to mention that because there's 2 things you guys spoke about, and I'll try to take note. So we were talking about people spamming, and when people do that, it's like you ignore that, just like you try to ignore those calls you get. It's like you have to engage in order to pull in a client. And someone had mentioned about how she just gave out everything for free, and I used to do the same thing. I started out as just doing graphic design, right? And I would design flyers for people. I would design websites for people. I would do marketing materials for them. And then I would advise them on how to promote, when to schedule their promotions and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm sitting here giving them all of this advice for free, along with the design. I said, I need to start charging for that. And so that's how I kind of developed, I rebranded myself to include marketing and promotional consultation. So, you have to come to a point where you're like, hey, this is valuable information and I paid for this education. So let me charge for the information that I'm giving them. Now you can give a little bit. And this is the one thing I want to say is sometimes you can give a little bit to pull a client in, but don't give them everything.
Yeah. It's okay to answer the question, right? So if they have a question and you answer the question, cool. 9 times out of 10, they don't know what to do with the information anyway. Like they'll ask you a question and you answer the question, they'll go, okay, well, how do I do that? All right, now you got to pay me because you want me to do the work. I can answer the question, right? But as far as doing the work and I have to do something for you and you expect it to be free. We're not doing that. Well, my time is valuable. I can have this energy going to something else, right? But we have to draw that line in the sand. And majority of us don't because we just want to help people. But people have to help themselves too. And they have to return that energy that you're putting into them. And we accept that energy in return in the form of payment. It's okay. Sergey.
Yeah, hi. So I just have a question since you mentioned that you're a sales expert and that you can help out and guide certain people. So I would like to see if there is a potential way to bring you on or to kind of conduct maybe some type of a webinar or meeting with my salespeople, maybe to kind of give them your perspective, guidance and stuff like that. Of course, for compensation that you were talking so much that is nothing for free. So
and he already knew it was coming, see?
Exactly. So something like that, I would like to collaborate. I actually send you a personal a chat with my email. So if you can just kind of maybe connect with me so we can potentially organize that, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super open to that.
Thank
And
you.
that's a good time. And Sergey, that training will run just like this. It's gonna be a good time. I don't do any of the doom and gloom stuff where we try to scare people into working hard. We build up good energy, we have fun along the way, and all of a sudden we're making money. And it's weird how it works.
How often do you have these type of meetings? Maybe I can also bring them to this meeting so I can actually hear out.
I have quite a few of them recorded. They're on the Alignable University, and then I got some on my website. I'm on here weekly, so
Okay.
Once we connect, you'll see all the stuff pop up.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Julie.
Hi, I think you already answered my question, or I answered it through everything you've been helping everybody with, but
Okay.
in asking questions for networking, because I have two different products. One is more of a coaching and one is more of a holistic wellness product.
Mhm.
But in hearing what you're saying, it's basically just, I branded myself as Just Ask Jules. That is holistic wellness solutions.
Mhm.
And I'm hearing it is really my job to ask the questions of these clients to find out exactly where they're going, what they're looking for. But how do you network for two different products under one brand?
You don't. So you see how confusing it was for you to just explain it. So that's going to be hard for somebody to soak it up, where it's like, well, what do you do now, right? So you just show up as Jules, right, and have the conversation. So we're doing like, know, and trust, right? So just the like part. So let's see if the energy aligns and this conversation feels good. All right, now let's talk more about what you have going on. And as they talk and as you ask questions, you'll see the path to what business they need to go to. So it's like, okay, I need to see you on the holistic side and not necessarily coaching side. So let's talk over here. Right. And then as you build a relationship, they'll ask about the other products that you have, the other services that you have, because now they trust you. So since you fixed this problem, what else can you do? Right.
Yeah, I like that you said, that's why through this, it kind of answered it. That it was like, you know what, it's kind of let them lead me to where I can suggest to them out best.
Yeah. Yeah. So from a marketing standpoint, you have to build out a customer journey so people can get to you. So for whatever product that they need, once they connect with you, now where are you sending them? Are you where on your website are you sending them? If you're sending them to your website, if you got content out, you know, where do they see this content where you talk about the things that they need? Not everything. If you got everything in the same place, then that's going to be confusing to people. So you have to compartmentalize your marketing so that you're sending people to the right places.
Right, you have a different website or a different landing page for the particular, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I love what you said. Free does not pay my bills.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Ann.
Hi, I wanted to go back to when you were talking earlier about follow-up and how Sue basically said it was basically ridiculous to meet people at a networking event and then not follow up with them.
Mhm.
Do you have any tips on who to decide to follow up with because you barely get to know them that first initial meeting? So how to decide who to follow up with and then what to do in a follow-up that first time?
Okay. So keep in mind, you're going to go into all of these networking events with a different mindset now. Now we're not just looking for customers, we're looking for strategic partners and referral partners too. So now when you go in and you start these conversations, these getting to know you conversations, how does this energy feel in talking to them? Is this somebody, when I talk, they actually listen? Are they talking to me about problems that they're having? Are they a resource that I can use, right? And based on this quick assessment, now we know what category to put them in. Now that we know what category to put them in, that determines what we say next. So if they're a potential customer and you reach out to them, hey, you were telling me about this problem that you have. Let's talk more about that. Here's my Zoom link or whatever. And whenever you're ready, let's have a conversation. If they're a potential strategic partner, it's like, hey, we had a great conversation. Let's figure out how we can be rich. And then you send them down that path and let's have this conversation. If they're a referral partner, hey, maybe not even, I'm just staying on your radar, you know, so that we can keep that working together. So here's an event that I got coming up that I'm going to, you should meet me there, right? And then now you can start building each one you start nurturing them all in the way that they need to be nurtured.
Okay, that makes sense.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm glad. You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions? Everybody just hanging out. This is the after party. All right, somebody start pouring drinks. All right. Hey, listen, thanks everybody for coming. I put the link to the Smile Network in there. If we are not already connected, I'm going to send you a connection request. So if you got any questions or need anything, I want you to win. So just reach out to me. And I'm good. Hey, LaShawn, I just seen LaShawn.
Hi, Jason.
How you doing?
I'm doing awesome and amazing. I'm just loving this whole vibe up in here.
All right.
I love it. I love what I'm hearing. The young lady who was talking about coming up with a price, that is where I'm at. And I was gonna ask you, I didn't know if this was the right place, but so I started a podcast, and anybody on here are welcome to be on my podcast because I celebrate people who positively impact the lives of others simply because it's your gift, your passion is what you love to do. Many of us who are in the trenches are not appreciated. We're just tolerated. And God told me to celebrate everyday people.
Okay. Listen, it sounds a lot like you starting a pitch.
No. I'm going somewhere because I didn't realize what was happening, but I started my podcast on Facebook. Now it has been recognized and I'll be going on Soul TV Network.
Okay.
So even though I consider myself still as an amateur because I mean, I just did what God told me to do, but I am thinking about adding a price, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
To appear
charge
on the
people.
podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how much reach you have and what that equates to them. What's the ROI for them? So if they pay you to be on the podcast, let's say it's $1,000 to be on your podcast. What X can I expect back? So if I spend $1,000 to get on the podcast, are you going to double it? Are you going to triple it? Right, from the exposure from being on the podcast. So we would have to do some market research on that part of it. But if you can deliver an audience viable like that, then yeah, you can charge whatever you want.
Okay. I was feeling a little some type of way. I don't want to be charging people, but I'm going from 1,000 people in my group to over 2 million, so they'll get more views.
There you go. So if the value is there and we're doing it as it's more of a advertisement for them, then yeah, they got to pay because everything that comes with it as far as the exposure. And if you can prove that ROI, you're killing it.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
Absolutely. I'm actually a member now.
Outstanding. Anybody else got questions?
Yes, Jason, I have a question.
Marcel.
Yes, so I've been doing a lot of networking on Alignable, meeting people, and oftentimes it gets overwhelming, the amount of people you do meet and trying to keep up with, following up with everybody and being able to do the work at the same time. What's like a good balance between networking, meeting people, and following up? Because do you have a team to help you with that, or like do you do that yourself? Is that all you do? Because it's a more consulting part of it.
No. So I get it. It is a lot. So you have to give yourself breaks. You're right. So and you got to understand where your energy comes from. How do you recharge? So if you're putting out all of this energy and you're meeting people and you spending time and you're having all of these conversations, eventually battery runs out, right? And now you have nothing left to actually live a life. We started these businesses to live the life that we want, not to just go out here and network all day, every day, right? So at some, you got to have a hard stop at some point of the day. All right, I'm done. And then now you do whatever you need to do to recharge, meditate, do some yoga, go bowling, whatever it is. But during the course of the day, I allocate time for networking, I allocate time for following up. I have a virtual assistant and she takes care of some of the stuff for me. She designed the presentation for the day, right? So compartmentalize first to where you're just not working, because that's how you go crazy, and that's how you end up with no hair and a gray beard, right? So you have to figure that part out, and then once you have a system of this is when I do X, then be disciplined about it and stick to it and don't deviate it. So if you got a hard stop at 6 o'clock to be with the family, then that's the hard stop. I don't care who it is, right? So I think that's all it takes. And then once all of this is clear to you, then it's just work. And I'm showing up at this plot, all right, from 9 in the morning to 10, that's when I do my follow-up emails and callbacks and all of that. From 10 to 12, that's when I'm going to go to this is when I book my first appointments, my introductory appointments with people for those 2 hours. And then from, let's say, 1 to 5, that's when I'm running my regular business with my clients. And then after that, I'm done. So you can build it out however you want, but make sure you build out something. Otherwise, you just out here and you go crazy. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
This is Justina. I just want to say I truly enjoyed the session. And I wanted to ask, you said you're going to put something in the chat. Did you do that already? Which one was that? Was it
It was the Smile Network.
Okay.
Here, I can add it again.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, no worries. The Smile Network is a good time because what it does is, number one, you get a coach, right? So we do coaching sessions every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursdays, it's either a book discussion, a quick connect, or a mastermind. So and honestly, it just started. So you get to get in on the ground floor. But it's a good time, and it's all good people, and everybody there is working. So when we talk about motivating each other and good energy and figuring out best practices, then that's a good place for you when it comes to marketing and sales.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You see the link? I just put it in there.
I got it. Thank you.
Outstanding. Outstanding. All right. Anybody else going once, going twice? All right. I'm making a point to answer everybody's question. I don't want anybody to have a question and leave without that question being answered. So I heard somebody.
Yeah, it was me, Jeff. Great job, Jason, again.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. So next week, we're doing you get a chance to put all of this into action. I'm doing a networking event. It's going to be a Smart Connect. I probably should have said this earlier, but you get the 37 people that's here. Y'all get inside information. We're doing a Smart Connect. It's going to be Harry Potter themed. I'm going to start running theme Smart Connects. So Harry Potter is going to be the first one. If you're a Harry Potter fan, it's going to be a good time. Wear your gear. It's going to be some trivia questions going, and we're going to network. And I'm a Slytherin, so I don't want to hear none of the Hufflepuff nonsense.
Nope.
The next one after that, next month, is going to be a Marvel theme. So I'm going to do that once a month. It's going to be a good time. So that we're not taking all of this so seriously. It's not that serious. So let's have a good time, meet good people, and then all of a sudden you're making money. All right, it's a good thing. So stay connected. Like I said, if we're not connected, I'm going to send you a connection request. If you need anything, shoot me a message. I'm here for you. I want you to be great, and I'll see y'all at the next one. Oh, wait a minute, Donna, I saw your hand pop up. You got something?
Just a real quick thing. In the smart things that we just finished, I did this morning, 3 of the people that I connected with, no matter how much we try to do the icebreaker, constantly were selling. How do you kindly, and I tried gently to get them to reverse to not do that, but is there a nicer way? I don't know exactly how to say it to them, because it was like, all right, here we go, sales pitch again, even though it was like, let's do the icebreaker question, and I couldn't get them there. So I was like, is there a nicer way to get them to do this? And I knew there was newer people. I understood that. And I was trying to explain, well, that's not like what we kind of do right now, but is there a nice way to get this?
So I don't I don't know. I look at it a little bit different. We might need Sue for this one because I don't necessarily think if you are going out of your way to pitch me and I don't want to be pitched, I don't think I got to be nice about it. So it's like, hey, I'm not here for that. We're not here to pitch. Then you hear the guy when we started, we got an icebreaker, right? So let's talk about the icebreaker and let's see if we can build a relationship. Because right now you give it off like salesy vibes, and I don't want to continue the relationship, right? So now let's see if we can get this together and get on the same page. But most people are we're just programmed because people told us that this is how you make money. So I got to go sell it and I got to go pitch it and I got to talk to 100,000 people in 2 hours. And it's like, it's not possible. Relax. But it's okay to tell them to relax. Relax. We're not here for that. We're here just to connect.
Yeah, I want it to be fun. I mean, enjoyable. So it's like I felt bad. I'm thinking, okay, maybe they don't understand. And they were at all different age levels. So it wasn't like it was little younger people or older. It was just, so I thought, all right, there must be a nice way. Maybe I'm just not doing it nice.
Yeah, they went through some of the sales training that I did growing up, where it's just like, always be closing and get out here and get the pitch in. And,
okay.
Everybody's a customer and all the cliche stuff that comes with it. But yeah, none of that's real. But it's okay to say like, no, I don't want to play your game.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
All right. All right.
Have a nice one. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. All right, everybody. We'll see you at the next one. Be safe and have fun.